Okay, this is one of the demand models, and we are going to work through one of them, and you can find examples for all of the other types in your book. And the book does a really good job of working through the various types of examples. So I'm going to show you how to work through one of them, and then you'll be able to use what we do with this one example to make your way through the other couple of problems that you have to work that are similar. So all of the data is provided for you, the cost and the capacity data and the demand data. So for the first problem, your first period's worth of demand is going to be the first period's demand minus what you have in beginning inventory. So we are going to start by taking our first period of demand minus our beginning inventory, and that's going to be our first demand figure. The rest of the demand figures we're going to fill in just exactly as they are entered down here. So I'm just pointing to them by hitting my equal sign and pointing to the cell reference. And then of course the total here is just going to be the sum. Okay, and then the cumulative demand is going to be adding it up, taking basically a running total of your demand figures. So here your total is going to be um, the 5,600 because you don't have anything to add it to. And then here you would be basically be adding your 5,600 to your 48. And now you should be able to copy that formula all the way over to the rest of your cells. Okay, so that's your running total. And then here it wants you to take your cumulative demand and divide that by the number of periods. So, well, I just hit my scroll there. Sorry about that. Okay, so we're going to take our cumulative demand and divide by the number of periods, which we have up here at the top. And then you can take this and copy that all the way over. Okay, and then what we want to do is use the max of the row above. So we want to take the maximum number in this row above, and I kind of have a hint out here to the side that that number should be 6,080, and it is. So the maximum number in this row is 6,080. So our period production is going to be 6,080. Okay, so we're going to do 6,080 across the top here. And then our cumulative production is we're going to do the same thing here. We're just going to add across the bottom. So 6,080. So we're going to do our 6,080 plus 6,080. And we're going to run that across the bottom. If I can get my mouse to work here. There we go. Okay, and so then we want to take, let me get back to my, okay, so for this calculation, we need to take, our cumulative production and subtract out our cumulative demand, and that will give us our ending inventory, and then we can copy that all the way over. Okay, and then to find our number of employees, in order to find the number of employees, we need to take the total amount that we have to produce in a week and divide that out by the number that can be produced, or the standard labor per unit for each employee. And that will give us the number of employees that we need to have. And then what we want to do here is we want to find out if this is higher or lower than the number of employees that we have. So we want to take the max of this minus this, or 0. And number to fire would be equal to the same thing, the max and it would be the reverse, the 210 minus the 228, because if it were the reverse, then that would end up being in other words, if this were lower than 210, then this would tell us how many people to fire, but in this case it's going to end up being 0. Okay, and then we're going to figure out all of the labor costs now. So we've got 228 employees, so we're going to multiply that by the regular time pay. And then the holding costs are going to be equal to however much we have to keep in inventory. So our ending inventory, we have to sum that up. And the amount that we have to keep in ending inventory, which is our 6,400, times our holding cost, which is our $10 per unit. And then our hiring costs are going to be equal to our 18 employees times the amount to hire each one. And then we're going to add all of those costs up. And then we want to divide that out per unit. So 166, and we're going to divide that out by the number of units, which is our cumulative production of 36,480. And that gives us a cost of $4.55 per unit. If we come back to this, this needs to be the 160 hours, not the 40 hours. So add that back in there, and that changes this figure. So this should be 160 hours is the regular time per period, times the 10 hours is the regular time labor costs, times the 228 employees. And that should give you the correct labor time figure.